What's up, guys? Welcome to the stream. We're just about ready to get started up here. It's probably going to be a little bit shorter of a stream than I normally do. It depends on how long it takes me to really knock all this out, but we're just going to be doing all the stuff for this autumn season here in Forza Horizon 4 to get the Huracan Performante unlocked. We only have to get 50% completion, so shouldn't take too long, I don't think, which is good because I would like to get this done before my wife and youngest daughter get back from the appointment they had to head to. If you do hear a little ruckus in the background, that would be my oldest daughter playing in her room. She's got this like weird cat toy that mimics whatever you say in like a really high-pitched voice, and she's just going to town with that thing for some reason today. This is really not too bad of a speed zone, except for this corner. Wow, that was a lot of understeer. I bet it failed me. I think I'm going to have to go all the way back to the beginning. Let's go back just a little further, though, so I got some time to actually set up for the corner. Oh, I forgot I was still in first gear.
You have arrived at your destination.
See if we have a little more luck downhill. I'm pretty sure that's usually the way I run this one. It's been a little while. I don't really play a whole lot of Horizon anymore other than getting the new vehicles unlocked for the most part. I do some photo stuff for my Instagram page on Horizon, but really that's about it. Mostly I stick to more actual sim titles these days. But I've kind of played Horizon out for the most part. There's not a ton left for me to really do in the game. Haha. If I wouldn't have slowed down so much on that last corner, I would have easily had that. Just rewind my way back to the beginning. I don't feel like driving all the way back up the hill today. Oh, is this as far as it's going to go, or is it just... Okay. Let's say it just bugging out, I think. And it's doing it again. We're off to a great start in Horizon today. I don't know what the game's deal is. It took me forever just to get the game to even load up for me. Well, that got us most of the way back. So, if you guys actually happen to follow my channel or subscribe, you might notice I didn't upload yesterday, which is kind of odd for me, but I've had some troubles with our real-life car and been kind of beating my head against the wall trying to figure out where my charging issue was. Finally got it sorted out, so yesterday I decided just to take a break, take a day off, unwind a little bit from all the stress of trying to figure that thing out and fix it. Oh, way too much speed. That's the thing that's really difficult about driving this car, is it does pick up speed so quickly when you hammer the throttle in second gear that sometimes it's hard to really judge how much room you're going to have to slow down. Nope, not gonna hit it. May as well just rewind now. It's one thing about the Rimac too, it definitely takes a little bit of time driving it again every time to get used to it, but once you do get like the feel of the car back down, it makes doing these PR stunts so easy. I might not really have the best tune on the car for this either.
Turn around when it is safe to do so.
Probably would have been a good idea to go in and check which tune was on this thing before I just went and started trying to knock this PR stunt out. See if I can't get a good run up from off-road here. A little more direct. I think it might be a little too bumpy. I think I'm better off probably just sticking to the road. It has been a while since I've done this one. Of course it would start raining too while I was trying to do this. Like, why not, right? Come on. Why is it climbing so slowly? I was doing like 170 some miles an hour. I think I was like right there too. I think it's 100 miles an hour is what I actually need to hit. If only the rewind would let you go back just a tiny bit further so I did not have to keep going this far. Oh, that was my new personal best. Did I actually get it then? I swear it said it was like 110. Oh wow, that was it. Okay, never mind. What was it then? Was it 100? It had to have been. Okay. Well, that was a little easier than I thought. I probably could have knocked it out a little bit faster, but I thought I needed way more speed than that, so I was pushing the car a little more than I needed to, apparently. Alright, so we're going to head over here and do Arthur's Seat next. Just to kind of make it a little quick, we'll just fast travel right over here. But yeah, I was having so much trouble trying to figure out what was wrong with my car, because I had 2 acid glass matte batteries in it, because I have a really powerful sound system in the car. I actually have a 5,000 watt monoblock amp hooked up to a SoundCube 15-inch competition sub. So I ran dual batteries in my car, and they're very expensive batteries. They should last about 8 to 10 years if you like really maintain them properly, but I think my alternator was just too weak and was never really charging them up to where they needed to be at to live like their full lifespan. And I think that's what did them in. Unfortunately, that's a few $100s worth of batteries down the drain. I am going to put them on a smart charger though, see if I can't bring them back to life. But after all kinds of diagnosing, thinking maybe I just had a bad terminal connection because one of my battery terminals was kind of jank. I never bothered replacing it because it always had worked. But I knew eventually it probably was going to be a problem. So I replaced that first. It would run fine when I would jump it. It would act like it was trying to charge and take on some kind of charge. But it just never actually built enough charge to do anything but click when you would try to turn it over after shutting it off. So yeah, basically 2 days. So I need to aim left a little bit. Basically 2 days of trying to charge these batteries, disconnecting one or the other, swapping them out as the main batteries to see if maybe one battery just was bad, and that was the issue, and just kind of troubleshoot stuff. Because I did not have my multimeter on hand, I was looking everywhere for it so I could actually test the charging voltage and the battery's resting voltage. And this is like the 3rd or 4th one I bought in the last 2 years, and they always come up missing. I think people just steal them, to be completely honest. So instead of just going out and buying another one for like 10 or 15 bucks at Walmart, I decided to do it the hard way because I didn't really have a way around because our main vehicle was down. And just kind of process of elimination. Luckily for me, I know what I'm doing, especially when it comes to wiring in cars. I know pretty much anything mechanical, but I am extremely good with wiring. So I knew how to diagnose it without having any of the tools to check voltages or anything. It just made it take a lot longer, especially because I was trying to charge the batteries up to see if that was the issue. If maybe my alternator had died and it was just had drained my $500 and $200 battery down to the point where they just were not getting enough charge to start the car. Because AGM batteries, like if they drop to like, I want to say it's 11.8 volts, they get very finicky and they just cannot put out enough amperage to actually get the car to crank over. It's almost like lithium ion batteries like they use in vapes, or like they have lithium ion battery packs for car audio as well. Or even like the lithium ion drill packs and stuff. Like once they get to a certain voltage, like they seem like they still have good juice on them, then it'll work for just a second and the power just cuts immediately. That's just how that style of battery works. So we're up to 37% now. We're going to go ahead and head over to the Oakwood Crest. This one should be extremely easy to knock out. We'll go ahead, start about right there. We'll go ahead and place a marker just so I know I'm facing the right direction after I get spawned. I guess if I just like paid more attention to the map and which way is north and where I was fast traveling to, I could probably figure it out easier without going back and looking and seeing on the map which direction I'm facing. But I discovered it's usually easier just to throw a marker down so you know you're heading the right direction and don't accidentally just start driving off the wrong way.
You have arrived at your destination.
And that was just ridiculously easy. Alright, let's see what we have here in the festival playlist to knock out now. Shouldn't need a whole lot more. That should get us like 40, I would say like 44, 46%. I really don't know if I want to do this weekly challenge just because I'm not the biggest fan of most of the cars that are eligible for that. Definitely not wanting to do the trial. I hate the trial so much. I'm really considering do the Get Hyper one just because I don't have a Veneno yet, which is crazy. I just never bothered spending the money to buy it though. So let's go ahead and check it out, see what our restrictions are. So S2998 Hypercars. I actually think I have a perfect car already built for this. I just got to double check and make sure it's actually going to be in the right class. But we'll fast travel there. Then we'll find out once we actually go into car selection if I'm right or not. You know, there's one thing you can say about the Horizon loading screens. Even though they are fairly long, at least it's a nice image and scenery to look at.
Great to see you've signed up to another Autumn Championship. I'll try and find time in my schedule to come watch you drive.
Had to double check there and make sure I actually turned commentary on my Elgato. Definitely don't want another one of those situations where I go through basically the entire video with no sound. So when it comes to S2998, this is pretty much my go-to car. I don't know why it drives as well as it does. I'm sure it's partially the car itself plus the tuning I've done to it. But this thing is just amazing for this class of racing. You add in the all-wheel drive too, and it just makes it that much better. It just has so much grip and so much acceleration. And when between the hybrid drive or the hybrid power assist, the all-wheel drive, and just the raw power this car puts down from the petrol engine, it's pretty gnarly. And once again, I forgot to turn streamer mode on. Alright, let's see if we can get through these without too many restarts. This thing sounds so good here in Horizon 2. It just barks when it hits that rev limiter. Definitely going to take it a little easy at first, get used to the car again, because it is a very aggressive car, especially when it comes to cornering. It has so much downforce and grip with the way I have it too, and you can really take some corners at some nasty speed, but you got to really commit to it and trust the car is going to do it. Just glued to the road. It's definitely one of my favorite circuits here in Horizon. So much elevation change, some really just challenging corners too. There's some stuff you can take at just insane speed if you set up for it right in the right car though, and just all that together makes it so much fun to drive here. Oh, I was not expecting him to come in all of a sudden like that. This thing just takes off like a missile, and I had no time left to be able to get back out of the way once he did start getting over. That's Forza AI though. Oh, get out of the dirt. Oh, nailed those rocks. Don't really matter though with the kind of speed we're carrying. Definitely would not want to do that in real life to a Porsche 918. I gotta remember to avoid second gear in this thing with the way I have it tuned. Second gear is just to kind of get us going off the line after we bounce the limiter in first gear. With that hybrid drive kicking in, it just accelerates in first gear. It's almost worthless. As I put it into the wall, I probably ought to shut up and concentrate more on driving here for a second before I lose the lead. That could be a really tricky corner there in rear-wheel drive cars. It really unsettles the car as you're coming around it, and it makes it really easy to break the rear end loose and just about spin. Managed to avoid the rocks this time. Oh yeah, no second gear, stay in third. Ho ho! Just about in the wall. I gotta say, this thing is a blast to drive with the H pattern shifter. No, it's not really intended to drive it that way, but this is one car that really does feel really good with like an H pattern setup on Forza, even though it's not designed to have it. Sorry about that, guys. Still trying to get over the whole congestion being sick thing. Especially after spending basically 2 days out in the freezing cold working on my car. I don't have a garage and my shop's full, so I couldn't pull it in anywhere. So I literally sat outside for 2 days working and diagnosing this problem I was having. I knew I should have just caved in, went and got a battery and replaced it to see if that would fix the issue, but I really just did not want to fork the money out if I didn't need to, especially when both the batteries, my AGM batteries I had in it, were so new, there was no way they both should have just went out like that. That's what you do, or that's what you do in the end. You pay for your mistakes and wanting to cheap out a lot of times, especially when you're like almost 90% sure that's really the issue, but you're really hoping it's not. Usually turns out it's not in your favor in the end. Top that all off, we've had a really, really mild winter, especially for Indiana standards. Like hardly any snow, anything like that. All the way up till the 2 days I'm working on my car. Both those days, it's probably been the coldest it's been so far this winter. We had snow both days. Wasn't any heavy snow, but I was standing outside dealing with being snowed on, and as it would melt, I would get wet, and just not a situation you want to have to be in, especially when you're trying to already get it over a cold that you have. I gotta say, even with the Porsche, or even with the Forza Aero on it, the Porsche 918 still looks so good. I've noticed that with a decent amount of the Porsches, though. They're one of the few cars that actually looks good with the Forza Aero on them. I wouldn't always say necessarily good, but they don't look absolutely just awful with it. Got some amazing weather for this race. I'm already not sure what sprint race this is. Like, I kind of know, but it's been a little while. And top it off, we have fog, and it's kind of dark, so you just really don't have that great of visibility. Yep, I knew that Senna was about to cut across. That's why I just backed off a little bit. Just hear the tires scrubbing for traction. Ooh, a little bump on the Senna. Just a little glance, though. Turn. Ho ho. That's what I mean about this thing. Like, it can definitely take some turns with insane speed with this. I'm not going to rewind, we're still pretty close. With this aero on it, but you've got to really commit to it and know what the car's going to do. Coming up on a pair of McLarens. Come on, let me around. Just dove up. Just barely got that checkpoint. I actually kind of let the car roll out a little bit further than I intended to, just to make sure I would catch it, because I could tell I was a little offline. You can kind of see it in the wheel movement too. I kind of jerked it back in after it drifted out. Man, this thing is so much fun to drive. It's a really easy car to drive. It's not like anything like as difficult as some of the other cars in this class with this kind of power, just because of the all-wheel drive and all the downforce. But it actually just makes the car that much funner to drive because it's not trying to murder you the whole time and send you off into a wall or off into the trees. And you like really control where the car is at and what line you're taking around corners. And when you're racing against Forza AI, that's a very important thing to be able to do because you have no idea when one of them might just cut across in front of you. I know I've said this a lot, but I haven't done the Waterhead Sprint in quite a while either. There's like a small group of races I do regularly still in Horizon. A lot of the other ones is just kind of whatever. If I end up having to do them, I do, but they're not ones I really enjoy, so I just never bother loading them up. It kind of blows my mind too. I did not have the Veneno up till now. I thought for sure I had got one out of a wheel spin. But then as I saw it and I thought about it, I was like, wait, I never did end up getting that car. I've seen it in my wheel spins, but never actually got it. Speaking of, guys, I have like probably 60 some regular wheel spins at least saved up and probably about 30 or so super wheel spins. So we might be doing a wheel spin open video here pretty soon, or like a wheel spin drift build video again. I don't need them anymore. I have so much money. I have basically every car in the game other than like a couple of the stupid super rare cars. So I just been sitting on all my wheel spins unless it forces me to open them after leveling up or something. I just don't even bother looking at them. So I guess really I could have quite a bit more than 60 regulars by now. I could have 60 super wheel spins for all I know. I haven't even been opening my VIP wheel spins. But yeah, I keep thinking about doing a video on them just because it's been a long time since I've done a wheel spin video. And I just have so many of them piled up, I feel like I should just go ahead and open them just to see what I get out of it. First time I think we've hit 7th gear in this thing, in this stream. Oh, could not find 5th. Or 6th, I mean. Almost went into 4th instead, and that would not have been good. That's the thing about a 7-speed H pattern, is it makes it very awkward downshifting sometimes, especially when you're used to 6-speed. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a car that actually has a 7-speed manual. And I gotta say, it would be a very odd feeling to get used to. Turn. Doesn't really matter if we win this race. It would have been nice, but pretty close in second. Definitely have more than enough points to get the championship. But yeah, besides the whole deal with my car, guys, I've basically just been spending some time with my daughters. Actually been doing, like, they got an airbrush paint thing. It's like airbrush tattoos and stencils you can do, like, actual pictures or tattoos with. So we've been doing that a lot. My birth mom got them a paint spinner. Like, you drip paint in it, it spins it around, and it makes, like, almost like a spider web pattern or like a kaleidoscope pattern, you could say. So we've been doing that a lot, and then I finished the rest of Dragon Ball Super, which I was really disappointed to get to the end. I didn't want it to end. I gotta say, I was blown away. It was way better than I thought it was going to be, and definitely lived up to all the hype I had heard over the last few years of people talking about it. I just didn't want to go back and not be all that into it and be let down because I was such a huge fan of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. And even like Dragon Ball GT, it wasn't my favorite, but it was a pretty awesome show. And there we have it, guys. We have the Lamborghini Huracan Performante unlocked now. We will drive it just a little bit stock here in the stream, just for you guys that did stick around and watch me struggle and battle a little bit to get this thing unlocked. As you guys see, though, it's super easy to do. All you gotta do is get the monthly rivals completed and qualify for online. Why am I hitting that button? Qualify for online ranked adventure, and that'll get you to like 27% or so. And then after that, as you see, just PR stunts. We did one race championship, and we got the car unlocked. The 80% ones are a little bit more of a grind, but these are not bad at all. Oh, forgot to jump in and change cars. So let's take a look at this thing. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't super hyped about getting this car. It's awesome, don't get me wrong. I really like the look of it. But in the end, it's not really that big of a bump over the standard Huracan. It really isn't. Like, it puts out 630 horsepower, it's 90 pounds lighter. It's got some other bits here and there to make it what it is, but it's not that much more than a standard Huracan. But does that take away from the added value of the car's sticker price? No, I don't think so. I mean, it is a nice enough car. The things they do add to it, it's definitely worth, I believe it's like $275,000 starting price for one of these. And the standard Huracan was $200,000. So, I mean, at those kind of prices, it's not really that insane. Especially when you like factor in, take it to a shop if you buy the base model, get maybe an exhaust and a tune on it to get the extra power out of it, and then you know, do some crafty weight or savings of some sort. You're gonna be looking at probably pretty near the same amount of money, just because the amount of money it costs to have work done to these cars. Labor rates for Lamborghinis and Ferraris is absolutely insane. So it's definitely been a while since I drove the regular Huracan, so I cannot really commentate on whether it's really any different or not than the standard one. In my opinion, it feels a little bit more powerful than what I remember. It does feel a little bit more planted and handle a little better. I think it uses the same engine sound. I could be wrong. I'm probably going to actually go back before I do my full review video and just like double check and make sure it is, but pretty sure it is. It sounds basically the same from what I remember. Woohoo! A little snap oversteer on that hill coming over the top. That was definitely a bit sketch. Although saying it does use the same sound, or possibly use the same sound, not necessarily a bad thing. It does not sound bad. Not too much runoff on the exhaust. Oh, reverse entry right into the traffic. Oh wait. I forgot I changed my horn to that just for moments like that. Yeah, really not much runoff. Not much popping at all from the exhaust in this thing. I wonder if that would change any with the upgrades added to the car or not. So the steering is kind of a little bit loose in center, which is honestly a little odd to me for what this car is. Most of the cars that are in this same like category and class of vehicle have very tight steering, especially like that Porsche 918. That thing, like from dead center, is very, very tight feeling. There's no slop and play like this. Like, you can kind of see it right there. Of course, that could be partially due to my tuning to the caster angle too. Besides that though, it does feel fairly planted. It handles pretty good. From the little bit of experience I'm getting here with the car, I'm not disappointed with it for sure. At the same time though, it's nothing like super special and unique feeling. Feels like basically all the other entry-level Lamborghinis I've drove here in Horizon that use this drivetrain layout. It is very quick though, and it does not seem like you're going as fast as you really are, because the car does seem so planted and drives so well. Like a lot of the time there I was pushing over 160 and it just really did not feel like it. Felt more like 100, 110, just kind of chilling, cruising along, having kind of like a spirited drive type of situation. Well guys, we're going to do one highway blast here in this thing, see what kind of speed we can reach, and we're going to end the stream there. My daughter decided to come in and sit next to me and play with her blocks. So if you hear some clanking, that's Where did that come from? Did I glance away and the car was there, or was he literally in the bushes? But yeah, if you hear some like clanking noises, just her playing with her blocks. It'll only be a minute here anyways, so like I said, we're going to end the stream off after this little highway run. I got to actually film the review video tonight still on this car. So like I said, I wanted to keep this a little bit short and just try to blast this out as quick as I could. But I didn't want to miss another day of having an upload either. And I've honestly been kind of having fun doing these streams, unlocking the new cars. And it's definitely nice because instead of all that time I spent unlocking it, wow, it actually handles really well around the corners. But instead of just like taking all that time I spent unlocking this thing and basically throwing it away and not being able to use it as content for videos or anything, and doing all that work just to get the car to review, and then having to do another hour of filming to do the review, it just really wasn't worth it. Because it was taking me like 5 hours basically to unlock the car, do a little research to make sure I had my facts straight on it, do the review recording, then export the video, edit the video, and render it. Plus do a thumbnail, write the description and all that. It's easily like 5 to 6 hours out of my day doing that. When doing it this way, I get a live stream for one day, plus afterwards I can do the recording and all that, get the video done for the next day, and I spend the same amount of time, but I'm freeing an entire day up for myself, so it's really paid off. And I think it kind of pays off overall in the content I put out. I feel like it seems like it's a lot better quality. I seem like I'm in a better mood and I'm having more fun. And it's because I am. I'm not stressing so much trying to get a video 5 days a week done. Instead, I can work like 3 days a week, still get 5 uploads, and actually do better work at the same time. Anyways, guys, if you did end up watching the stream or checking out the replay, I really appreciate you guys taking the time for it. It really means a lot. If you did enjoy it, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and hitting that notification bell. It really helps me out, and I'll see you guys next time.